Hello, welcome to Geopolitical Research. This is Christian Takushi, independent macroeconomist and geopolitical strategist. I want to be very brief today because time is precious these days. I want to touch on the world economy, financial markets, politics, and finally best practice among nations in responding to this corona crisis. First of all, for roughly 2 months, I've been taking quite a bit of flack, being called an alarmist for demanding that we shut down air travel immediately in January. It was my view, we need to take action right away and shut down air travel. Air travel is the problem, not the virus. And excessive air travel or our inability to respond to an epidemic and not shutting down air travel. Anyway, I still believe that European nations are behind the curve and not really taking the necessary measures to really get this whole situation under control. But let's go to the economy. For 2 months, I was kind of too negative. I was told, too alarmistic. But since last Wednesday, Thursday, I think I've moved from being more negative than consensus to being slightly more positive than consensus. So I can say so that I am no longer, I cannot agree with some of these apocalyptic views and forecasts that I'm seeing floating around. But as someone that sounded the alarm very early on in January, saying that China will contract dramatically and the world economy may contract this year and that we need to take action, immediately shut down social contact and also the air travel. As someone that saw this very seriously in January, February, and first half of March, I now positioning myself a little bit more positive than consensus. I think that the way things are panning out is that we're going to see we should be seeing the bottom of this health crisis in the second quarter this year. And we should be beginning a certain recovery before the end of the second quarter. Having said that, I think that contraction for the world economy this year could be anything between -5% and -10%. This is slightly worse than what we had during the Great Financial Crisis 2008, 2009. I'm not expecting at the moment a Great Depression as so many people are seeing now. Of course, cannot be ruled out. A lot of policy mistakes could be made. People could get too much into panic as well. I believe that when people are prepared and positive, they see off going into panic. I think that the biggest problems that we have at the moment out there in the world economy is not the virus necessarily. It was first excessive travel, excessive mobility, not responding to the situation accordingly. It's been policy mistakes, but finally, last but not least, excessive fear. I think excessive fear and panic is really probably one of our biggest problems. And don't forget, the economy is a lot about psychology. Number two, the financial markets. We've seen so far dramatic corrections in equity prices. I think that we need to watch credit markets, because if they go the way they're going in the last few days, we may end up seeing a dramatic shakeup in the bond market. And if that happens, pensions will be hit. And there could be also significant losses in the real estate market. Okay, then let's go to politics. In the political area, I think the Democrats are beginning to seize the situation. The Democrats want to make sure the economy doesn't recover too fast. That means a weaker economy makes it harder for President Trump to be re-elected. Finally, and I want to make it short, best practice. We're seeing the best practice among nations in Asia being Taiwan. I think in Asia, Taiwan is setting the best practice record. And in the rest of the world, in the Western world and the Western Hemisphere, and the rest of the world, it would be Peru. I think Peru is actually setting the bar quite high and its response to this crisis. One of the last countries being hit by the virus, but with less than 10 cases already taken complete measures, shutting down air travel, and already paying out direct money to its citizens as of this week. Amazing response. Well, this is it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time, and also hope to see you next time for a very brief geopolitical macroeconomic review. Bye.